All right, so this is an exciting week here at Edison Motors. The boys and myself, we're all going out to Ontario to work on that Undisclosed truck. We got some wiring harnesses to install. We got an important business dinner, a trade show, and Rich and Ray, we're gonna go have a talk with them and see what the progress is on that pickup truck kit. We are back in Toronto working on the Undisclosed truck. If you guys remember, about 2 weeks ago, the professional wiring harness came in. So we took the crew, we flew back out here. We're gonna be taking out that old test harness that we made ourselves, installing the professional harness, as well as we got some code update from the people that make the unit that's on the back of the truck. So now we'll hopefully start getting those faults like engine not found and be able to run that unit off of electric. So it should be a pretty busy week.
I get to lick the
Don't lick that spicy wire. Oh my god.
Okay.
Oh, that's gonna end up on you.
Okay.
Well, we are getting this wiring harness fed through. This is absolutely a pain. That's what happens though. I cannot wait till we are just at the stage of manufacturing where we have fully assembled things like professionally built wiring harnesses. We install it once and we're done because this is so much more work upgrading test harness to production harness. That is it. The new professional wiring harness is now ran. Now it's time to actually run the connectors to where the connectors go. This is not the easiest job for when you're a little claustrophobic. I don't know how Katie does it. A little bit of an update. We now have the new wiring harness installed in the chassis. We did a little bit of a test to make sure the axles are spinning. We got the axles spinning, the communication was right. So we got the tires back on. We're just working on now connecting some of the hydraulic stuff. We got some of the parts of the truck working. We're now just running the wires to the last few parts of that, and then we will lower it down off of these jacks, get it out of the shop, and do some testing in the yard.
And now we pray that a reflash is successful. We don't lose controller memory.
Cancelled. What's gonna happen if this does what it is? Then we get to try the hydraulics?
Yeah, we get to try hydraulics. Right now we're gonna test communication. We put on all these new harnesses and we've got the hydraulic controllers right here. If this works, if this finishes, everything works, we'll be able to communicate, and then we'll restart the truck with high voltage and see if she goes burr.
Excited or worried?
Things are going really, really well here so far. We got that new wiring harness put into the cab. Compared to the rat's nest that test wiring harness was, it is looking way more professional in there. We've also got the wiring harness ran down the frame rails. It's now communicating with everything. The truck is driving forward and back. The main component on the truck, the main high voltage component, has all fired up. It has come to life. It is working. Really excited. The only thing we're struggling with a bit is the hydraulic pump. We purchased that from a supplier before, one of the main suppliers that we used on Topsy, and it's just a nightmare dealing with that right now. We can see that it's on, we can see the communication, we're trying to send it the command to turn on, and it's just not turning on. We've been working on it all day, so it's the end of the day. We're gonna go get some dinner and come back fresh tomorrow with hopefully some new ideas to try and get that hydraulic. It's the last thing we need to do. Well, the guys are at that truck getting some things tested, rigged up. The Truck World Truck Show was on here. This is a big exhibition showing the latest and greatest stuff in the trucking industry. There's everything from trailer suppliers, truck manufacturers, as well as part suppliers. That's what we're gonna be focused on. I'm gonna be meeting with our suppliers. Some of them I met with already, and we're gonna be talking about future supply chains. Other ones we're gonna be talking about getting them to supply our trucks. And it's just kind of cool to see what is out there and if there's new stuff that we can incorporate while we're still in this design process, or making sure that we're getting the best prices, the best deals, whatever it is. It's just really good to go to these shows, put faces to the names. It goes a lot farther than an email a lot of the time. So it'll be a busy day, and I heard the Tesla Semi's in there, and I'm looking forward to checking that out too. This is exciting. We're gonna get to have a look at the truck that started Edison Motors. This is the Tesla Semi. About 9 years ago, I reserved a Tesla Semi. My reservation number, it was literally during the big debut of that event. Elon was on stage, he was showing off the Tesla Semi. Me and Eric are like, yes, reserved now. We were reservation 0004 2004. That was 9 years ago. I finally get to have my first look at a Tesla Semi, so let's have a look at this truck and go through it. Having a look at the inside of the Tesla, and it is very reminiscent to me of Topsy, which we obviously decided not to go with in the future, but what are these parking brakes? Ah, they're electric. They're not actual air parking brakes.
Very simple.
Very simple.
What's your first time in a Tesla?
Yeah, after reserving one 9 years ago, I finally got to sit in the Tesla Semi.
But they're going to roll out into Canada next year, Chase. Just one more year.
One more year.
Just one more year.
One more year. I mean, to be fair though, when they did it, it was year 5 when I'm like, "No, take me my money back, I must start my own company." In like year 5, and like we're on year like 3.5 right now, but it was literally quicker to build our own electric Semi, in fairness, than to wait for the delivery of this. This truck is basically the opposite of what the Edison truck is in every way, shape, or form. Everything is touchscreen displays. Whereas we went with all gauge packages. We have now a traditional seat because I wasn't a big fan of the center seating with Topsy. We tried it out, like Kenworth tried that on their newest prototype. Tesla tried that. We tried that with Topsy. I find that it's weird because both sides are blind sides, but like the forward visibility is great. That is the advantage for somebody if you're doing like a lot of like highway driving. Honestly, the interior quality is pretty good though. I'll give it to that one. Out of all of the newer trucks we've looked at, compared to like a lot of the Peterbilts or some of the other ones we've sat in, the interior quality is kind of solid on this. The steering wheel has a nice feel. The glass, like, what's there? That is a huge visor. Okay. Yeah, it's still better than a lot of trucks. I'm not saying it's a perfect interior. It's just better than a lot of them.
And we're not saying ours is either, but hopefully we'll get there.
Rich, you just out the legroom. You're a taller guy.
Oh, like I had a little farther back, so that's comfortable. Definitely comfortable.
Oh yeah, it's not. I don't think it's that bad.
So my issue was that, like, if you're California's fine, but like if you're coming in from there, you're tracking mud all the way through here.
It's become a slip and slide.
It's a slip and slide, yeah. And then the mud, it's not like a, I don't know what this material is. It's like a rubber?
Some kind of like rubberized.
Yeah.
I do like though that even though it's a low top truck, I can still stand with plenty of headroom. Like this isn't the high sleeper, it's not the thing, and there's still a decent amount to stand in. But there's not a bed. Like the advantage to having like this, if I was like a long haul driver, this would be awesome because I'd have all this room. But it's not for a long haul truck, so do I really need to stand up? One of the interesting things I noticed on this truck is how European it is. It has the Knorr-Bremse ABS system. Knorr-Bremse, that is the parent company of Bendix, which is very interesting. On the steer axle, I noticed that it is a ZF steer axle and front steering assembly. And I also noticed on this truck that I feel like I'm losing my mind, but I don't feel like this is 34 inches. Like I've been looking at a frame rail every day for the last how many years, and the frames are like this. I swear this is like a couple inches wider, which wouldn't make sense because everything in this, like maybe I'm wrong, I don't have a tape measure, but like it's 2 of those wide. I'm gonna check on our truck, but like every single truck has a 34-inch frame rail because everything between every suspension manufacturer, every axle mount, every fifth wheel supply plate, if you build a gravel truck, if you build a hydro vac, if you build a logging truck with logging bumps, every single thing is meant from every aftermarket manufacturer to bolt onto a 34-inch frame rail. If this was just 2 inches bigger or 4 inches bigger, you would essentially have to have every single bodybuilder rebuild every single component, redesign every component because he made the frame rails bigger. So why would they do that?
If they did.
If they did. I wish I had a tape measure. Having a look at the back here. This is a huge area. We were just saying in the cab that why is there no sleeper on the truck? Basically, there's just a wall with a seat and you can stand up. Like, why not just put the rear wall right here? He said it's because they put a couple extra batteries, but like, I could put a bed across there. Like if you had that in the cab, I could put a bed, I could stretch out in here. What is like, the Tesla Semi guy supposed to have a cot? Like is the sleeper on a Tesla Semi, you just hook a cot up to here and a hammock and lay out? Like, I get it. I get it, Elon. You make trucks in California. It's nice weather. You could sleep out in a hammock. Those of us in Canada would sure love to have this be part of the heated space of the cab. And maybe it's a fitness thing. Those guys, like, you get a little workout in here. I don't know. Personally, I just would have put the rear wall of the sleeper here. It is really nice, though, that they made sure to tell us they were American with their little American flags here. Makes sense to bring that to a Canadian show. Whatever, I'd bring a Canadian flag to an American show too, so I give it to them. That show was really cool, saw a lot of cool things. Now we have a really, really important business dinner with one of our customers out here, so we're gonna head over to that.
Black and white, that's my name. Black and white, 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 twist his dick!
That's okay.
What'd you get?
Oh, I got black and white, that's my night! Black and white, that's my night!
All right, so we're giving you an update on the Ram, but before we show you the Ram, we're gonna talk about the update on the LC. Now, I left it at the test facility in the fall. Ray and I went there in the fall to babysit it, and we're thrilled to say that we were supposed to go week on, week off to diagnose any problems and fix any issues, and it was basically trouble-free. They told us to go home after the first 4 days, and then you went back again with Eric when I had my surgery.
Yeah,
and
programming, and we got it fully functioning as a hybrid, which is, it was so sweet, man.
yeah,
Oh yeah, turning it on and off while we're just driving around. We had, some little hiccups here and there. It got away a little bit quickly, a little bit of check your underwear moments, but
but that was in programming, like the ramp up and the ramp down on.
Making sure our maps are proper, full spectrum. That way you don't go off the map and then it accelerates. But little things that we find. But I had Conrad in my ear for 3 days.
Yeah.
Eric was nice enough to let me use his cell phone and his AirPods, so I'd switch them in and out, and he'd be like, "What's going on?" as we're swearing away, and it's like, "Oh, this is what happened. Give me 5 minutes, and we'll get back to it." In 3 days, it became a fully functioning hybrid, which was just amazing to see.
Customer now has that truck and are outfitting it. I don't know if they're putting it to use yet. We're not allowed to say who the customer is, unfortunately, but we are allowed to say who the customer is for this, because this is my truck. And everything that we've learned from the LC, we kind of put the Ram on hold because we're driving this across the country. We put the LC ahead of this because there's a lot of learning to be done from our first prototype by a third party, and we're changing a few things on this. So we're so excited. We're gonna show you guys this truck. Yeah, I cannot wait. We got a pile of work done. It's getting real now, and thank you guys for your patience, but this thing is awesome.
Oh yeah.
Let's get into it. Ray's been working hard on the high voltage wiring, and I'm very fussy with how my wiring gets routed, also labeled. So we've got black and red, which is your positive and your negative. And then we've got double red and black, red, black. These are all labeled nicely. We're gonna make new holders for this because now that the cab is back on again, we have room, but we're just gonna tuck these down just a touch lower. Same with the water lines here. And we've added all sensors in there so that we know the in and out of the temperatures, and we're going to compare them to what is saying on the system by a completely other system that we can monitor. Ray's working hard on the rest of the wiring. And inside the cab, where all the connections are made, all the pins are finalized. We have all of the components, so Ray's just starting to plug things in, and then I'm gonna come in here with my OCD and make sure that everything gets lined up nice. We're gonna make a nice pass through for the cab, and then I have been working overtime in my engine bay, and happy to say that the radiator fits. It just fits. We really have no clearance at all anymore, but I can stick a piece of paper in there. So that's fantastic. The Cummins 2.8 looks like it just belongs in here. We got just enough room between the fan and the front pulley. And we've got all our components starting to get mounted. So intercooler piping's all done. We got a nice intercooler that comes into the front. This gets a ton of air through the front bumper. The EV radiators on the top two. The engine radiators on the bottom with the intercooler in front. We have to put a power steering pump on there yet. We got the dual battery setup going, which is just stock stuff. We sourced all those parts. And then we're starting to run all of our water lines for the EV. We got the AC system all modified to be able to take the chiller. And we got a chiller here, which I just have to modify slightly so that it can fit behind the rear axle. But that means that the entire box of this thing, the entire bed is going to be open. And we've got a nice 60 to an 80 liter, I think it's something like an 80 liter fuel tank. So we should be able to run nice and far on this. But man, the blue and the orange and the black, we're gonna tint the front windows yet. We've tinted the back windows. This thing is gonna be absolutely stellar. So if you wanna see more and in-depth, check out DeBoss Garage, where we'll have an update on it, where it's heading out to get some emission testing done. And then we are looking forward to the cross-country Canadian road trip with the Airstream behind it. Now, Ray says Insight is telling him we're not using much fuel, but that's why we are doing real-world testing. And that means the road trip from Ontario to British Columbia. Now, it's fine to say we use this much fuel, but we've also lined up 2 more Airstreams and 2 more trucks, a 6.7 Power Stroke and a 6.6 Duramax L5P, which will be pulling roughly the same size trailers. We're gonna make sure that they weigh the same. And 3 of us are gonna be doing a convoy across Canada. And that way we can say apples to apples, this is how much fuel we used, this is how much fuel they used. And along the way, we'll be stopping at restaurants, at coffee shops, wherever, and you can see the truck in person. So best place to follow us is at DeBoss Garage or on Edison Motors on our social media. We're hoping to make this a pretty big deal of driving Canada's first diesel electric hybrid truck across the country. We're gonna have some problems, we're gonna break down. We're probably gonna need some help. Hopefully we don't need a tow. We're gonna bring some spare parts with us and hopefully get tons of data that will help us in producing the incomplete chassis. Now we saw how much work that went into this entire project, and it is not for the faint of heart. And that's why through experience, we've come to the realization that it's probably best for the incomplete chassis. And while we're not working on this, we are designing that, coming up with parts list, BOMs, and figuring out exactly what we need with that. So hopefully that's an update. We're gonna keep working on this thing. And before we know it, we'll have a fully moving truck. And this is probably the truck that I'm the most excited about on the channel. We've built a lot of cool stuff, but this one definitely takes the cake.
All right, so that was a pretty awesome week. I had a lot of fun out in Ontario working with the guys. They did an awesome job getting that new professional wiring harness put in there, getting the truck driving around a little bit. Still have a bit of work to do on that hydraulic pump, mainly in the way we got to get the supplier of it to send us a code to turn it on. So once we get that, we'll go back to Ontario, and Scania has some testing to do on the engine, or the Scania dealerships, I should say, should have some testing to do on the engine. Get that all commissioned up. That'll be the next thing in Ontario. It was also great to stop in with Rich and Ray, see the progress on that pickup kit. I can't wait. Hopefully the next time we go back to Ontario, that thing is driving. Anyways, and just as a reminder too, investment is open on our website.
Go for it.
Investment is open on our website, edisonmotors.ca. Make sure you read the disclaimers, the offering memorandum, and all that thing. I can't talk today.